Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Finding Happiness podcast. I'm your host, Bobby, and on this podcast, we talk about business, marketing, and personal development. I ultimately believe like everybody's story matters, and that's why we're here today. So, episode 6, bro, we're at episode 6. That's like the coolest part. It's yeah, it really does. I've been sitting on this whole idea for months, dude. I started like 3 different podcasts, but never actually put it out. So yes, episode 6, we have a special guest, Mr. Avi himself, straight out of Chino Hills, California, baby.
Thank you for having me today, man. Thank you. It's honestly a pleasure.
All right, my man. So how far was the drive?
I'd say about 2 hours and 15 minutes, bro. But it's worth it. It's worth it.
That's cool. That's cool. So the fact that you drove over here, like it means a lot to me. Josiah's sitting here too today, so appreciate you sitting down.
For sure.
Usually he's the one that's behind the camera, making sure the audio, everything's running. So just wanted to get him out to kind of learn from you as well. Josiah's being 19 years old. How old are you, Avi?
24.
24 years old. So, man, I'm 37, so I get to get some knowledge from the young guys, which I'm ready for. So you're in real estate. Let's go ahead and give our audience a introduction to who you are, well, what you're currently doing today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so right now, like you mentioned, I'm 24 years old, and it's my 4th year in real estate. I got licensed back when I was 20 years old. So right now, I think I'm definitely starting to see a lot more success than when I first started out. On average, I'm probably doing about like 1 to 2 deals every month. Definitely was not like that when I first started. But you know what? It's all about in this business. I think it's all about just being consistent and really, focusing on taking care of your clients and just making sure that you want to create a relationship where people can actually trust you, moving forward. Because in real estate, at the end of the day, like 9 out of 10 times, buying a house is like one of the biggest assets that you're going to probably purchase in your life, right?
Facts.
So you want to make sure that you have someone who can guide you through that process, because it's honestly a really scary moment of your life. You're buying, like, whether it's like $500,000, $1 million, whatever it is, you want to make sure you're getting educated and have like a master negotiator on your side. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Of course, I have a whole story of how I got into real estate.
We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. Now, off camera, you did mention a little bit of crypto. So you do...
I do a little bit of crypto on the side. I'm not a pro or anything. It's just kind of a little bit of a hobby. Right now, the market is pretty down. It's kind of scary to even open up my profile. All I see is red. But, here and there, I do some trades. And at the end of the day, crypto for me, it's more of a long-term vision. It's more of a long-term game, right? So I just keep there's a term called DCA, which is dollar cost averaging.
Okay.
So no matter like what the price is of the crypto, whether you're buying like Ethereum or Bitcoin, you have like a set price. Like for me, every week I'm going to be like, all right, I'm going to invest $500 into the market, no matter what the price is. So eventually, like whether the price is high or low, I try dollar cost averaging eventually to a lower price, but my thing is just keep picking up more of that. Like for me, my biggest holding is Ethereum.
Okay.
Is just keep, accumulating that, and then in the long term, 5-10 years, I really believe in like the project that it's doing, and so
that's dope, man. That's dope. So he just gave us some knowledge just on crypto, because I didn't know that you can do it like that.
Yeah, sometimes people believe that you have to buy like a whole share at once, but you can invest like $20, $50, whatever somebody's comfortable budget is. I think it's always best to just go ahead and throw that money, because if your money is sitting in the bank, let's be honest, it's not growing. It's probably less than 1%. You're probably losing money due to inflation. Yeah. So might as well put your money. Of course, there's always risk with investments, but no risk, no reward, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I mean, I guess the whole crypto and people being like, oh my God, it's going crazy. It's down right now. But like you said, you still have to play the game in order to take the risk.
Absolutely.
You set it up. You can adjust to what they're pulling out
100%.
Accordingly to your budget, so you don't have to give it all. You shouldn't be doing that anyways.
Exactly. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Right?
Don't do that, because we don't know what's going to happen next. So that's cool. Okay.
Definitely.
So.
Definitely.
You mentioned 4 years in real estate. Take us back to what you were doing before real estate.
Yeah, so I was going to high school in Chino Hills High. I was right around my senior year. I was 18, and I applied to go to community college, I went to Mount San Antonio in Walnut.
Okay.
And my whole vision back then was I actually wanted to become an optometrist.
Okay.
You know, I was very fascinated about, like, you know, the eyes, and I know you mentioned
Yeah, I was gonna say we're talking about
like
that, dude.
eye issue and stuff like that, but you know, I was very fascinated about that, and because just in science class, we even like dissected like an eye one time. I'm like, dude, this shit's cool, you know?
That's crazy.
It's like, dude.
Wild.
Yeah, dude. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to learn more about this stuff, and I went to Mount Sac, took some of those classes, and honestly, bro, this was just boring information. And I was like, man, do I really want to do this? So I ended up kind of switching gears to like business classes in community college. And there was one business class in specific where I had that it was kind of like a requirement. It was real estate finance.
Okay.
And in real estate finance, I met one of my really good friends. His name is Diego.
Okay.
And
shout out to Diego.
Shout out to Diego. Yep. And he, you know, me and him hit it off really quick. And he actually was telling me, you know, that he is trying to get into like the real estate world. He already had his license at that point when I met him in class. And around that time too, I know at home my brother, he had enough money, and he was actually starting to look at properties on like Zillow and Redfin to like get his first investment property.
Okay.
So I connected with Diego, and he was like, you know, I just got my real estate license. It wasn't even that hard to get, and you know, I'm trying to make my first sale now. I'm like, dude, I have a perfect first client.
There
for
you go. There you
my
go.
brother, you know. He's like, oh, dude, that'd be dope. I'm like, yeah, man, let's work on it together. Kind of show me a little bit, you know, how you got your license, and then let's kind of work on it together. I think that might be a cool field for me to learn about. So, you know, poor guy, he showed us like 50 to 70 properties, you know,
shit, man.
always driving around. But my brother had a very picky criteria, you know, so.
And that's normal, right?
That's normal.
Yeah, because fast forwarding today, that's sometimes what you kind of got to do.
Exactly. It's part of the business.
And was he a first-time buyer at that point, your brother?
First-time home buyer.
Okay, yeah.
That makes more
sense.
Yeah. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you're making such a big purchase, you want to make sure it's the right investment, right? You don't want to do it on haste, right? So, you know, we went through all those showings, and, you know, going through like all these, you know, properties and showings with Diego and my brother and my family, you see like so many cool things, like, because you get to get an idea, like a personality of when you go into somebody's house, and you get to see like,
dude,
right?
Yeah.
So
when
like,
you're not wanted, when you're wanted,
yeah,
when they really want to sell, when the tenants don't want you there,
you see all these situations, right? And it just completely opens up your mind, and it's actually very interesting. Sometimes you see things like, oh, like ideas like, oh, I want to do this with my future house, or you know. So learned a lot from you know, those showings, and finally, you know, after about like 6 months of while I was going to class with him and while he was showing us properties, we finally like you know, submitted an offer through Diego, got an offer accepted on the house, and my brother ended up purchasing a house. And when he got that house, I saw my boy Diego's check for $10,000.
Hey,
I'm like, oh snap, you know, like I'm like, hey, dude, that's not too bad, you know, like $10,000, you know. And then I was like, dude, like, yo, let me learn more about real estate. Maybe this could be a good field for me to get into, right? Yeah. And I started, you know, watching a bunch of YouTube videos once I got home and stuff like that. Because, you know, sometimes when you, obviously, you know, like money's not everything, but obviously it's like a key to like a better life, a better lifestyle for friends, family. You know, you want to take care of the people around you, of course. And money is that, I think, that key to that, right?
Yes.
So I started doing all this research, and come to find out, you don't even need like a degree, or you don't need to even go to college to get your real estate license. You just need like a few, like it's like you only need 3 classes really to be eligible for your real estate test. So I'm like, oh man, this is
You're
cake.
like, dang, only 3 instead of 6 classes for 4 years.
I'm
okay,
like, dude, yeah, I was already thinking
great.
like, all right, man, like, first of all, for me, like, school was never for me, man. Half the time I was sleeping in class, like not paying attention. I was like the kid who had like, you know, the C's and the D's, and I was just, I hated school. I mean, in high school I did really good, but when I went to Mount Sac, I was not doing so pretty, you know?
Gotcha, okay.
Half the time, like in college, right, you get to sit in the back. The professors don't really care if you learn or not. I was just kind of sleeping and not really coming in late too and stuff like that. But did a little bit more research, and then, you know, finally I was like, you know what, let me get my real estate license. Took those 3 minimum required classes at Mount Sac, actually. And then I applied for my real estate test. It's like a 3-month waiting period, and in the meantime, you have to give like your live scan fingerprints and all that stuff. And I took a crash course to pass the test. So I passed the test my first time, and I had my license. It all happened like so quick. Within like 6 to 9 months, I had my license. Right, I just made the decision. I'm going to get my real estate license. And I just studied hard for it, took those classes, took the crash course, and then I had my license. At this point, I thought, okay, now, I'm set.
I got it, man. We're those $10,000
right?
checks, and oh my gosh.
Exactly. So,
man.
yeah, I mean, fast forward, like, real estate's actually not that easy as people, make it look, or as glamorous as it looks. You had to actually put in a lot of effort. So, I mean, fast forward my first year, it took me 8 months to close my first deal, and during those 8 months, dude, like, there were so many times where I was like, man, like, I was kind of regretting my choice. Like, man, should I have just gone to school,
And be a damn eye doctor, man.
Be an optometrist,
Yeah.
right? Like, shoot, should have just done that, And then,
so real quick on that.
Yeah.
So do you feel like, because you were in school recently too,
Yeah.
if the teacher would have made it more exciting, or some sort of, I would say the instructor, the teacher, if they would have made it more exciting, would you have stayed in optometry or those classes? Do you feel like it was just at that point with the instructor just could have made it more
if
exciting?
it was more enjoyable, I think there would have been a chance I would have stayed. Yeah, because
you
it's all
liked
about
it, right?
environment. Yeah,
the actual eyes and dissecting and stuff like that.
exactly. Like, it fascinated me, but man, when I got to Mount Tech, they made it so boring, like just like terms after term after and I'm like, dude, I cannot absorb all this information, Yeah. And then for like real estate, I was like, okay, show a house, write an offer, boom, $10,000 check.
You were there with your brother, kind of already saying, okay, cool. He's just showing houses. I already know school's kind of boring.
Yeah.
So now if I can do what he does, and he's my friend, that means I can do this for other people that I know too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. How does that sound to you when you hear about 40, 50 homes to drive around for $10,000?
I mean, so I moved a lot when I was little, and so
Okay.
I've seen a lot of that. We moved probably like 8 or 9 times.
Oh, wow. Dang.
Like we never left the Antelope Valley. Like,
It was okay.
that's
So
just all here.
Oh, okay.
all
So
here, okay.
That was ridiculous. But so I've seen, like, there was one time where we did see like 30, 40 houses. Like we saw a lot. 70 houses sounds like quite a bit. You know? Like, I don't know if
Now after that they go, here you go. Here's $10,000 for doing that.
Right.
It might, like you said, it
What do
might
you guys
get you
think?
started. I think the big thing in real estate, me personally, so to me, the money is a consequence of the action. So if you can do something like that for someone, the reward, because it's so big, is 10 to 20K.
And do it happily. Like, don't be like, oh, this is a 70th house I've showed you. It's like, oh, we'll treat it like the first one.
Yeah.
You know,
And
No, you're right.
And then that right there can spark to where you guys go, okay, well, this could be a path. And it's not necessarily I'm doing it because of money, but money just, at the end of the day, we're working and we're getting paid to work. It's just some people feel like they have to work somewhere. Like my mom works at Walmart. You know, she works her ass off, but she feels like that's all. Even with everything I try to teach her now, that doesn't matter. That's kind of all they got, which is weird, right? I mean, do you get to, I guess, like you had a conversation with your dad recently. Do you get to talk to him about all the stuff you get to do? Or once you figure out how to do things better and try to teach them, but they don't listen? Or have you tried to do that before with your parents? Like give them knowledge and be like, oh.
I have. They don't necessarily act on it.
Yeah, you're like,
but
oh, you're doing
I'm like,
this.
it's there for you, like, and I mean, nowadays in the generation we're in, dude, like everything's on YouTube, right? Like it's so much a variety of knowledge that we can just absorb and actually like implement and take action on. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are just consumers instead of the action takers.
And that generation, it's a little tough. It was tougher on them, man. Like that's why us for now, like, bro, we got like the world right here, and it's up to us to kind of act on it. And then our kids, bro, are gonna even,
Of course, I'm pretty sure we all have our lazy days and stuff where we don't want to do anything, but
tell him about he didn't want to go to church. Or no, it was, huh? It was. You wanted to sleep in because he's been crushing it,
today?
man. He comes in
So
on the weekends.
Before this job, I mean, I would do Uber Eats, obviously, and I would do it like kind of later in the day. I didn't have to worry about it. And so then after church on like Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday nights, like I would go hang out with my friends till like maybe midnight, go home, go to sleep, right?
Yeah.
Get up at 10. I got this job. I got to be up at 8 every single morning. I got to be here by 9, that kind of thing. And so it was a Saturday morning, or it was a Thursday night. My friend broke down an hour away. It was midnight already, and I was like, I'm out. We're going to get you. And so we did that, and then Saturday comes along, and there's another thing at the church that I needed to do at like 7 a.m. And then Sunday I work at the church at 7 a.m. And I get there, I'm like, man, Monday comes around, I'm tired.
He's like, I just want to sleep man.
But it's you know, it's a battle because there are things that, you know, you want to do, and then there are things that you have to do. And so I'm like balancing both of those right now.
It definitely is a battle. Like, what do you do in the mornings to like get like, you know, to fight that off, like get up?
I'm already pumped, bro.
You're just pumped.
Yeah. So I do struggle from 4:30 to 6, I would say, of getting up.
Is that when you wake up, 4 in the morning?
So no. So that's where my alarm is set. That's where I will like all the, you know, the successful stuff. Get up at 4 and you beat blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, yeah, you beat the system. You beat everybody already. I'm like, who's doing what? Like, I don't even like to work out, but I'm trying to go that route. And
small steps towards it.
Yeah, small little steps. So me, it's getting up at 6 a.m. And usually by then my phone's already on. Okay. Like it's already blown up. So either the clients that we run the accounts on, or it's time to get like the automated system posting for the clients. So we start usually pretty early. And but yeah, for the most part, it's just usually I wake up and I'm jammed. It's like jam. And then I'm kind of already done by like 3. I'm usually done around like 3 o'clock is when I kind of.
And then you just kind of like chill out with family and stuff? Or?
No, unfortunately not. I'm just here. Okay. And then we leave about 5. I take laptop home. So I go home. Then I chill out with the kids for a little bit. We watch YouTube. I watch my wife's YouTube channel. So shout out to my wife. Because her channels has nothing to do with like Alex Hermosi and real estate and Gary Vee. It's all about
like her feed.
Like it's all her stuff, man. It's well, like drama.
That's her niche, right?
So we get to watch like her stuff, and it just that's how I unwind. That's how I kind of forget about all of this for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we watch, you know, TV with the kids, and then I go back on.
How many kids do you have?
So I have, I guess you would say it's 6 altogether. I have 3 step kids that are 19, 24, and 25. And then I have Rome, she'll be 2 next month, and then Savannah, she's 9.
Wow, dude.
So, yeah.
So, question for you: when you first had like your first official kid, does that completely like change your aspect? Make you like a lot of people say like, oh, you know, I started working harder after I had my first kid. Is that true or
no? I'm gonna be straight up, man. I was 18 years old, 19.
Wow. I
was chasing music, playing Warped Tour already, and honestly, I love my son, but like it interrupted my life. So my story's different though. I was not with the person. I got a call when I was on the road, and it was a voicemail. So shout out to his mom for that. Yeah, dude. Hey, you got a son, and I knew his mom from high school and stuff like that, but he was already 6 months old.
Wow.
So after I came back, my best friend at the time, so shout out to Iggy because I still talk to him and stuff like that, but he drove me over there and to kind of see him and meet him for the first time.
Wow. Like
in the corner, he was in his little playpen and stuff like that. So what it did was it kind of not screwed him out. That's not the right term, but it just you know, like it just rocked it. It shook it a little bit. After that, I was selfish because of my age, and I was still chasing music. So his mom stayed, and she ended up coming to live with us. And I still chase music.
Got it.
Which, I mean, I don't ever knock it down, but if I could change it, I probably wouldn't have done it. Because that took 4 or 5 other people to want the same exact thing as myself.
And have the same amount of passion for it.
And I mean, it didn't work because of that. Because I naturally booked everything. I naturally got on the phone. I naturally took control of stuff.
Right. Yeah.
So I was always going that route. And then like when everybody was like, no, I don't feel like practicing, or I'm going to go out and this, and that. Oh, it like made me mad. I was like, mad. I was like, what do you mean? Like I'm over here writing all the songs and stuff like that. So
yeah, man.
It wasn't until Rome.
Until Rome?
Yeah. Is where more recent to where I was like, I knew that was going to be my last child with my wife and everything. So it wasn't until my last child till it kind of sparked.
Okay.
So now, I mean, if I can go back and change a lot, I wish I could have. But to be honest, bro, I can't. I've already we can't change that shit. I can just tell people this. If you are in a relationship and you're listening to this, don't have kids until you're ready, until you find a partner.
Yeah.
I would even tell you to don't even have kids until you get married, because at the end of the day, if you can't marry the person, if you don't want to marry, don't have kids with them. Like, what the fuck? Too many people are having kids and not married. Well, why? The kids forever? Nah, bro, that's the mom is going to be there for the rest of your life too, right next to you, even until she dies. Like, it's going to still affect your life because you created life with that person.
So just work on getting yourself established first and then have the kid.
Yeah. So, the kids should come when your life is figured out. That's how I mean.
Yeah.
And that goes back to, okay, should be having sex and stuff like that. We already know, okay, we're men, we're women and stuff like that. But realistically, your partner should be someone that you give a shit about, someone that you really care about. Because other than that, I mean, you're no different. You're just sleeping around and stuff like that.
Exactly.
You're going to happen what happened to myself, which was unfortunate for my child. We have a better relationship and stuff like that. He comes back and forth with us, but it wasn't a life he deserved, nor... I would say, he didn't deserve that type of life because of the parents' mistakes and stuff like that. So
I want to look out for the kid's best interest too, 100%. You know.
So when that goes to marrying him, okay, cool. I wouldn't. I mean, if I could take some stuff back when we were talking about like marriage and stuff like that, you should get married and then go move in with that person. So I believe you should be at home until with your family, enjoying that time with your parents. Because losing my pops. I mean, we kind of knew he was going that route, but you just don't ever like know when it happens. That
when
plays
it happens, it's something different.
And you can't get that part back. Like you take the look at the photos every day. I see it. It's not the same feeling. Right. So spend that time with family, hang out with them, enjoy that. And then when that person comes along, like there's just no magic to it. Like you'll know. Like,
you'll know.
Legit, bro. Like and it's like. It's not, oh, bro, she's hot. You're not gonna know right away. Like to me, it's in a couple months. Like because you start seeing people, you start seeing how they are, and this is not excusing red flags either. And be like, okay, right. She's cool, she's hot, or he's good looking, and he does this, but he's kind of treats the people like shit. Yeah, going to treat the people around you like shit. So understand, and then as soon as like that relationship, and then the kids come, man, because product of My pops, when that passed, he's actually my step pops. Like, he did everything. My dad took care of us when we were younger, and then he split. He was gone. I have a relationship with my dad now, but stepdads are everything too. So, damn, sorry about that, you guys. So, how do you guys feel about kids? And cause you don't have any kids yet, right?
I don't have any kids. I'm still so young.
Yeah, he's like, dude. Josiah's like, I'm still trying to sleep in until 10 a.m.
I'm not gonna have kids. I personally believe, like with Christianity, I definitely believe in abstaining from sex till marriage. Which I mean, I like everybody I've talked to in my life just hasn't had a problem with. And so I wouldn't have kids until marriage anyway. Like that's just not something I'd be interested in. Yeah, just kind of how you said it, like, a kid's going to ruin your life like that, and like not ruin your life, but I mean like it's going to it's going to change everything in your life like that, and it's such a big thing that like personally I believe God did not intend us to do it that way, God intended like that like sex as that like that definition of marriage. So you're not like doing that before just makes no sense to me. But I mean, I can't hold people to a standard.
Yeah, everyone has to do their own thing. But I totally get what you mean, because again, the consequence could be, which I had it. So that's why I speak about it. Is I had a phone call. And I mean, anything that, and
voicemail.
Yeah, a voicemail, if anything. And
remember when people actually left voicemails?
I know
that weren't telemarketers.
Now I'm like, dude, like, why is this guy even leaving? Just text me, bro. Like, damn, man. But that's when data rates applied. You got in trouble and you had to spend money. Like, it hit so many texts. Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
that's right.
You got extra. It wasn't unlimited, bro. Like it wasn't no unlimited T-Mobile.
It wasn't data. It was minutes.
I bet you Verizon's still not even unlimited, huh? That's how they get there. Damn you, Verizon. Yeah.
We actually have we own a Verizon store.
Okay, see, that's dope.
Now you can get it unlimited though.
Okay.
Now it's
unlimited. Now you can see.
Now we good.
Growing up Verizon, you had to have good credit. in order, or you had to put a big ass deposit. And I was always broke with bad credit from the east side.
Verizon is expensive, but they are good. Like anybody I've talked to who has Verizon, like we have a lot of canyons out here, and my friends who have Verizon, if we're driving a canyon, like
it's always solid.
Yeah, like they'll still have service like halfway through. It's like I lost.
You got service and money. You're like, dude, you got service, good credit, and money, man.
Yeah, it's crazy how good Verizon is.
So let's go back to you're in. So shout out to Diego once again. He kind of like this whole little situation you're in now. You've seen how he took care of your brother. Your family was blessed because of it. You've seen the reaction. You kind of thought, okay, I can do this too. You go to school, you take your classes, you pass it. And like you said, it was pretty quick, right? It was kind of like...
it was really quick. Like within like 6 to 9 months, dude, I had my license. And when I got my license, dude, I'll be honest, I freaking cried, bro.
Yeah,
that was the hardest test
10,
I ever took in my life, bro. Because like all those questions were so tricky. Like every answer almost looks correct, you know? And then they literally, like, as you're walking out of the test center, they hand you a paper and they flip it over. And like what they tell you is flip it over once you're outside the building.
Okay.
So, you know, right when I walked out that building, you know, I was just like ready to flip that paper over. And then right when I flipped it over, passed. Oh my God, I freaking broke down, bro.
Who was the first person you told?
My mom.
There you go.
Actually,
there you go.
My mom came to me to the test center, you know. So like literally I walked out the building doors. I flipped the freaking paper. And she was like right there sitting in the car parked, and I saw it pass, and I just started like crying, and she saw me, gave her a big hug.
There you go. Shout out, Mom. There you go. All right. This for being there. I love my mom, man. Yeah. Like my mom's everything.
I owe everything to my parents, man. Yeah, honestly.
I think that's one of the biggest things I want to accomplish is, though, you know, everybody gets rich. I'm going to buy my mom this, and that. I do want to get her a house. She's older now. She's going through RA, said a lot, especially my pops passing and stuff like that. So, yeah, I owe my mom everything. Like, she covered my ass from how bad I was to, my dad always, oh, you're a piece of this, you're that. My mom knew it, but didn't say it to me and tell me that. Like, she knew of my actions, didn't know, she didn't believe that I was that type of person. So,
I love my mom, bro. Dude, like, for our moms, dude, like, even if, like, for me, like, even if I did something bad or anything, you know, it always, she'd come from a place of love no matter what, dude. So, that's really what stuck with me, man, So
are you very, so how is family with you? Are you guys, are you very family oriented? Do you hang out with the parents a lot, with the family, brothers and sisters or anything like that?
Yeah,
some more details.
So I'm the youngest in the family. Okay. I was the only one who was born here. I was brought up at Pomona Valley Hospital. I was born there.
Okay.
My parents and everybody else, my siblings, they were brought up in India. But yeah, me and my family, we're like super tight, you know. We're like the family, like we'll like try having like a family dinner once every week.
Okay.
You know, go out, you know, just, you know, hear about each other's like week, like how it's going, and, you know, address those situations. So we're super tight, man.
What about as far as your siblings? How old?
My brother is 34.
Okay.
My sister's 32.
Okay.
And then I'm 24. So
Do they still live at home with you guys, or are they there, or they're living their own lives?
Right now we all live together. My brother's
my
brother and sister had my sister, she's a makeup artist, so she never went to college. But my brother, he had went to UC San Diego. He had moved out, and he had bought that house through Diego. He lived there for 1 year, but then he decided to just rent it out. So right now it's as an investment property. And
hey, look at that! And that was what, 4 years ago?
Yeah,
right, roughly.
Dude, it's crazy how much the market went up in those 4 years. Like, everyone thought right when the pandemic started, COVID, you know, everybody thought like, oh man, like don't buy right now, the values are gonna drop, but they increased significantly, right? Like my brother bought his house for about like $500,000, and now if you appraise it today, it's around $850 just in 4 years. Which we're like, damn, we should have picked up 2 properties, you know?
Dang, I know. Now you think like that, and that's where they say don't buy real estate, or no, don't wait to buy real estate, buy
real estate and wait.
Because even now, like, okay, so let's rewind back to the pre-pandemic or COVID. I mean, they're telling everybody not to buy because uncertainty. So with the pandemic or pre-pandemic, we've seen don't buy, it's uncertainty, COVID's here, all this crap, you know, don't do it. And then the ones that did buy, that took the risk, were rewarded. I would
We're the
say
ones
the
that were rewarded.
market just
Absolutely.
Yeah, my sister actually bought a house 2020,
Nice.
like between
Like right
March,
before
yeah,
COVID or
like
like
right,
when COVID
right,
started?
right when it started. And
Did they get? Do you know if they got to see the house or anything like that, or was it on the
Yeah,
outside?
so,
I remember some people
Some
do.
people
We're
just
buying
like-
homes without
So-
going inside.
Sight unseen. Yeah.
if you want to hear a freaking hilarious story, me and my friend from high school, we live in the same neighborhood, and my dad had just moved after the divorce with my mom. And so we were riding skateboards one time, and we saw this house on the way to his house from my house, and the door was open, and inside it was just completely dark and black, and we were like really scared, and so like we like,
You're
walked
like,
up to
"What's
it, we were
going
like, "Hello, we're just gonna close your door." It was vacant.
Okay.
It was foreclosed. They kicked everybody out, and so we were like, "Oh, that's kind of crazy." And then my sister, like the next day, her boyfriend got down on one knee, became fiance. So they were looking for a house, and during that time, somebody had bought the house that we had seen on the way to his house in that same neighborhood.
Wow.
Somebody had bought that house, flipped it, and then my sister had a realtor who was my dad's coworker's wife. So like everything.
So
was
referrals,
pretty,
bro.
Yeah,
See that?
Everything,
That's what it
everything
is,
was pretty
man.
in house, and so like nobody cared about restrictions, and it was a vacant home anyway. So they were like, "You can go see the house if you want. We don't have to be there." And so they actually did get to see the house, and they bought that house. So now my dad, my mom, and my sister all live in the same neighborhood.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, it's
Just
hilarious.
walk over, dude.
Yeah, bro. Happens.
That would be kind of a goal of mine. I'd be like, dude, if I can have
Yeah.
like my family, when we sold our house in 2 years ago, 2021, trying to think. I think it was 2021 we sold.
Probably beginning of 2021.
Yeah, we sold. I'm trying to think when we did it. Maybe it was 2020. I sold my house, but the house we sold, my neighbors on the right side, they owned the house on the left side, and then the house is two. So it was the parents and then the son, and the daughter. I was
wow.
like, dude,
That's pretty.
that's a
badass.
win, bro.
Yeah.
That's like a win. If I can do that for my kids, and for my moms and stuff like that, bro.
Yeah.
That's I'm gonna do that for you, mama. I promise.
There we go.
Yeah.
Heard it here first.
I know. You heard it here first.
Gotta live up to it now, bro.
So with being in real estate, when you first got you started crying, we were like, yeah, I got my license. Now what?
Yeah.
What did Avi do?
Avi, so during this time, like I mentioned, we have a family business. Like it's a repair shop. Like we fix phones, and we have a Verizon store too.
Okay.
So I was going there, here maybe 2-3 times a week to help out with the family business. We had one employee at the time, and I was kind of learning. Like my brother was teaching me how to do like cell phone repairs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So I was learning that, and at the side on the side, I'm like, okay, now that I'm licensed, I need to start trying to find business for myself, right? I was trying to go to some close family, but of course, when you're new, sometimes people don't necessarily pay that much attention to you.
Yes.
They're like,
they're
oh
like-
man, he's new. He doesn't really know what he's doing. I don't want to talk to him. So I was like, okay, I need to. I started watching like YouTube videos how to get business, like the whole cold calling, door knocking. Of course, it was things that made me very uncomfortable, but I knew that I had to step out my comfort zone if I wanted to see any results. But yeah, pretty much, man, my first year I struggled quite a bit with real estate. It was like part-time, but I was still putting in a lot of hours towards that cold calling and door knocking. So like I mentioned earlier, it took me 8 months to actually secure my first deal. And the way that I actually had secured that first deal, actually no, that I'm thinking about a second deal. But the way I had secured that first deal was I was in Starbucks.
Okay.
I was waiting in line, and the guy in front of me was he was on the phone talking to his wife, and he was like, you know what, yeah, he's like, I'm just at Starbucks. I'm just gonna go after this but at the time I had joined a Remax.
Okay. So you're at the Remax office. Okay.
Yeah, I was at Remax, and that Starbucks actually right next door was Remax. I had come into the Starbucks to get a coffee and then go back into my office to do some work. But the guy in front of me, he was like, yeah, I'm right next to a Remax. Right after I grab this coffee, I'm just going to go in there and talk to somebody about selling our house.
You're like, oh, shit.
I was like, oh, snap. I heard that. I'm like, all right, I can't let this guy
I know.
slip.
You're like, wait, what's my script? What's my script now?
Blanking out. So he gets off the phone, he's ordering his his coffee. And like right when he's about to pay for it, I like chime in, and then I pay for it for him. I'm like, hey, I got it, man. And then I was like, hey, by the way, you know, I heard you were talking about possibly, you know, selling your house in the area. My office is actually right next door. If you want, just bring in your coffee to the office and let's chat it up. He's
Dang,
like, oh,
smooth man right there.
so
That's
he's like, oh, dude, perfect. You know, like I'm trying to talk to somebody. And, you know, in my mind, I was like, man, he's going to give me all these objections and stuff like that, you know? So this was like practically like the easiest sale I've ever done in my life. Dude. I went in the office. He gave me his address. He's like, when can you come over and take pictures of the house? He didn't even say like, what's your commission? He didn't really even go into like all those questions, you know? He was just like, hey, here's my address. Tell me what it's worth and let me know when you can come over and take pictures. And then if you want, just DocuSign me a contract. We need to get rid of this house like ASAP. I was like, oh shoot, you know, and I'm still like, I haven't even done a sale. So
and you're like, dang, what do I do
on,
next?
Yeah.
And
I remember he asked me, he's like, you know, do you have any experience? I'm like, I was flat out honest with him. I'm like, hey, look, I haven't sold a home yet, but my team, like that Remax team, we're like our history, we're backed by like a lot of transactions. So when you hire me, you're also hiring my team.
There you go. I like that.
Because when you're starting out, dude, if you don't have any sales, that you just gotta kind of have to use like your team stats or like your stats of the company that you're with to like kind of support yourself, right?
Yeah, it's a numbers game. At the end of the day, like it's hard for you to compete and get business even when the family's like, oh, he's brand new. Like,
yeah, exactly.
We know how important this is, and it's all love for the family. I totally get why they do that. I get it. But I mean, at least you being there, showing up that day,
exactly,
and just having making sure that you're capitalizing on opportunities instead of just letting it go by. It's a cup of coffee.
I don't know, like your guys' beliefs, but I'm a firm believer. Like, you know, like you're at a place for a reason. You know, you're in wherever you are today. You're there for a reason, right? God puts you in that place. You know. I don't know. Do you guys believe in that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Perfect, man. So, you know, pretty much that's what really kickstarted my career. I was like, okay, you know what, like, if there's one person who is willing to hire me, there's obviously other people who are willing to work with me. I just have to, my job is to find those people that want to work with me.
Yes.
So, you know, first year I ended up, like I said, it took me 8 months to close my first deal. And then after I closed that guy, I did another transaction as well in Laguna Beach. It was like my first year, and it was like $1 million sale. Got like a $20,000 check. I'm like, holy shit, now things are moving. You know? It wasn't like anything big, but it was like in the first year I did, you know, fast forward, first year, 2 transactions. Second year, I did 4 transactions. And then 2021, I averaged 1 transaction per month. So I did 12 transactions.
Okay.
Solid.
And then this year, I'm at, my goal was 24, but right now I'm at 10 transactions. Still have a little bit of catching up to do, but it just really, like, you know, like it definitely instilled the faith in me. Like, hey, as long as you keep staying consistent and working hard, you know, you keep giving back to the community, you're going to get back more. So that's
absolutely
I've been working on, man.
And I mean, as you can see, it's growing, and that's the whole purpose of what you're doing. It's not be like, oh, I'm just going to get all these numbers. It's those numbers are people, and it's like, okay, as long as I focus on the people,
absolutely,
and the business and do the right thing, then it eventually it'll grow.
Just capitalize on that, right?
And stick in it, you know, long term, because it's when we're like, oh, it didn't work out, I'm done. Like, dude, you didn't give it enough time to even let it work.
Exactly.
And that's why I think the whole real estate, oh, well, you know, people fail because they're giving up, or they're realizing that's not what they wanted to do.
Exactly.
So it has nothing to do with, oh, it's real estate. No, it's people choosing the wrong career based off of tangible things like money or financial freedom. None of that exists. Financial freedom, I feel like I don't even hear about that. That word is like non-existent anymore. A few years back, right before COVID, all I would see, I want to become financially free, and this laptop.
See all those ads and
you can work from a laptop. I'm like, unless you're trading and stuff, but
I clicked on those
stuff's hard
ads,
too,
like, really?
dude. Like, people be losing money when they're trading. Fast too,
yeah, man. It's not pretty, bro. But yeah, I would advise anyone who's like getting into real estate, because obviously the failure rate is 85% within the first 2-3 years. But honestly, if you're
that's kind of crazy.
It's super high. Yeah, it's super high failure rate. But I was honestly gonna you know get out of it too. I'm like, man, you know what? Maybe I should go back to school. But it just it's all about, I think, mindset. Just being like, you know, believe in yourself. keep pushing the needle forward, and just know, as long as you're doing things to keep the needle moving forward, eventually something will happen, you know?
There you go. What do you like most about real estate?
I love going to houses that are really luxurious, of course.
I know, dude. Man.
Really love seeing all those features, you know? But yeah, honestly, I'd say that's my favorite thing, really going to these. That's what I'm actually trying to transition into now, is more luxury real estate.
Okay.
Even if I'm not selling these, multi-million-dollar properties, just like going there and touring them and, making videos on them. I'm very passionate about like social media and content. So even if I'm not even making a dime off it, I could care less. I'm just passionate about going to these properties and, touring it. If something comes out of it, that's great. Eventually I would want that to happen, but right now just enjoy myself, tour these properties. And then as a secondary, just being in real estate, you get to make so many great relationships, and making these great relationships, if you can help them as far as, making a financial decision, I think that's more important. That's really important to me too.
Yeah, because for the most part, I mean, if you're in like residential real estate, not like on the flipping side or investing side, then you're dealing with families.
Well, yeah, a lot of first-time home buyers.
Couples that just got married or just having kids, even older couples trying to downsize. Like, you get to see their lives and how it impacts them. Some people lose someone, some people are getting divorced, so it's like, it's crazy.
See all these types. Well, actually, I saw one scenario which I was actually honestly heartbroken. I met this family before, and they were like, they asked me how much I charge, because they were trying to buy their first house, and they're like, oh, how much are you gonna charge us? I'm like, when a realtor represents a buyer, it's completely free, because the seller pays the commission for the buyer's agent. And they're like, oh no, our agent's charging us $7,500. I heard that, and I'm like, dude, that agent is scamming you.
Damn, man. Hey, if that's you, knock that shit off, man.
Dude. I couldn't even believe there's buyer's agents out there trying to like charge their client, when their duty is to get their buyer into a home, and then they'll get paid from the seller of that house. Right. So whenever you're on the buyer side, just know you pay $0
$0
to get into a house.
To your
so
agent.
If an agent's charging you $5,000, $7,500, it's a scam.
So what do you think is the most important thing? So if you're listening right now and you want to buy a home or an investment property, what's the most important thing they should look for in an agent?
In an agent?
Yeah. So what would myself or Josiah wants to buy his first house? What's the one thing you would say for him to?
The one thing that you want to look for in an agent is somebody who can is somebody who's looking for your best for your best interest, and somebody who can really negotiate on your end. Because being that it's your first house, you want to make sure that you're getting a good deal, and that sometimes like what I like to negotiate for my clients is sometimes when you move into a house, you don't realize all the expenses start adding up, like the appliances, right? Like water, washer, dryer, the fridge, all that stuff adds up. So what I typically like to negotiate, if my clients want me to negotiate it, is like I try including all the appliances with the house. I try getting creative. I really want to build a solid relationship with the seller of the house, not only the seller's agent, but with the sellers as well. So sometimes I'll go there and introduce myself. I'll bring a box of donuts, or I'll get a gift card for them. Like, hey, thank you so much for accepting my client's offer. Really looking forward to working on this transaction with you. And then, as we kind of build that relationship, then I'll be like, hey, like either I'll get like closing cost credit, because when you do buy a house, you do have to pay escrow fees and title fees. Those are closing costs, typically 2% of the purchase price when you buy a house.
So that can even go like 10 grand to
like a $500,000 house, a buyer can expect to pay around like $7,500 to $10,000 on escrow fees and title fees, document recording fees. But I try negotiating that too, right? Like the seller to like credit X amount towards the buyer's closing costs, or hey, at least throw in the appliances for my client, whatever their situation is. And as long as you come from like a very, like just being kind to them, and come from a standpoint where you want them to understand that, hey, this is like a first-time home buyer. This, whatever we want to do to help this family out, typically the sellers are very willing to work with you. Okay. So somebody who's like a master negotiator, try to work with that person.
Gotcha. You hear that, you guys? So next time, if you are looking for a house, ask your agent, hey, do you know how to negotiate? And then test their ass, man. Test them. Start something with them.
100%.
Now, you mentioned you want to get into the luxury homes. How how is Avi going to get in there? So what is your plan in your mind? What is a little strategy that's going to get you there?
Definitely. So at the end of the day, for me, it's a numbers game, and what I've seen work. So like I started a YouTube channel. I have like a few luxury tours on there, maybe like 4 or 5. But I definitely need to capitalize on that. I did get a little lazy these last 6 months, which happens. I got busy with work and, family.
Yeah.
But one thing that I know is that in order to achieve those results and actually, get more into the luxury space, what I've been lately doing is calling these luxury agents to build a relationship with them and then offering them like, hey, I'd love to come by your listing and offer you free marketing. I'll make a free marketing. So let's say I connect with you. Mm-hmm. I say, hey, we'll go out to this house and, I'm going to record a video on it. One with me kind of walking around the house, and then one where you just kind of make a promotional video of just the house. And we're going to brand it for the listing agent as well. So that's obviously for them, when they hear the word free, they're like, all right,
yeah,
come
it's
through.
like a win-win. I'd be happy. Like if you did that and I was the agent, I'd be like, oh, that's badass, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I got a free video and then you're going to market the house and I'm still the seller.
Gets a free video. I hire you for your video services. So even though like that's an expense on me, it's okay because I'm getting more exposure and I'm doing what I like to do.
There's a reason. Yeah. So it's that type of cost. There's a reason behind it. You're not just blowing money for a video. It's video with purpose that's going to get you.
There's a purpose behind, whatever X amount I'm spending on that video. It's also for me. It's also for the agent. And it's pretty much an insight to expanding your relationship with like-minded people that you want to work with. So.
Yeah, because it's hard to be like, hey, I want to come in and start doing luxury. Like, who are you? If you
they're
don't have the friends that are in the luxury field, or you don't know these millionaires, and that's not your network, then you
have to offer value to somebody, right? You can't just take value, right? So actually, the last video tour that I did was in Rancho Palos Verdes. And when we went there, the dog that was at that house was actually Floyd Mayweather's dog.
Dang, man. Dude, so that's a dog. You're like, get out of the shot, man. Get out of here. Like, dude, that's Floyd Mayweather.
I'm like, get in the shot.
I know. Come on, get in the shot. We're going to send him an invoice. Not.
So that's like cool. Like all these people you get to meet. So like that homeowner, when I talked to her, she's like, yeah, Floyd Mayweather had 3 dogs. And one of the dogs, he sold to me, and this is the dog, and his name was Bronx.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Bronx.
right. Shout out Bronx. Okay.
What kind of dog was it? Like, was it like a big aggressive dog?
It was a Doberman.
Okay.
But it wasn't aggressive. Like
not aggressive, but like like intimidating. Like you look at that dog and you're just like,
I would say, Snoop Dogg, man. You can't be looking at it like, dang, that's Snoop Dogg.
Definitely was intimidating, but man, when you sit down and play with that dog, like the nicest, sweetest dog ever. Yeah. And the reason Floyd Mayweather, what story that homeowner told me is the reason Floyd Mayweather sold that dog is because he was the least ferocious out of the other ones.
That makes sense. Yeah,
that's why I asked that question. I was like, he's a UFC or boxing fighter. I think he's UFC, right?
Boxing.
He's a boxer.
Okay, I was like, well. He's like pretty aggressive. He's pretty big, like.
So he would have like that type of dog instead of. Exactly. Yeah. Sometimes he'd be having like little poodles, like the strongest, scariest dudes have like little chihuahuas and stuff. So.
Yeah. No, you're right, man.
Okay, so I definitely, that is a smart strategy right there. I feel like most agents are just afraid to even try to go after the luxury.
Yeah.
Because they feel like, oh, I don't have any of that. So what's motivating you to say, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. Like I'm just gonna make videos and.
I'm at this point where in life where like no matter what I do, I don't care what anyone thinks.
Okay.
Like I could like in the beginning, like when I first started making videos, when I first started in my first 2 years, if you look at my videos, man, they sucked.
We're gonna put the link in everything, you guys. Don't worry.
It was like on my little old Galaxy phone, the quality was really shitty, but I was like, teaching people about real estate terms, but definitely, the videos have drastically changed today. But I'm like I said, I'm at a point like, and if somebody's just getting started too, just have that mindset where you don't care what anyone's gonna think, but just come from a point of I'm just gonna add value to people. If they like it, they'll absorb it. If they don't, they can move on.
Yeah,
they have the choice not to look at your content, right? But you want to just kind of try focusing and growing on your brand. So that's where I'm at right now.
So it goes back to when you're starting creating content. I think we start creating content, or at least for myself in the beginning, and then it evolves, and then you'll start to scale when you do it for not yourself anymore, for others. I'm making this video so that I can help someone else like today, the podcast, so that we can help the next person who wants to get into real estate, who wants to help their family, who wants to be there with their family, enjoying the fruits of everything. That's 24 and doesn't know where to start. You know, this is where you start. You know,
Absolutely.
You meet a friend named Diego. No, just kidding. Yeah. No, you just
Diego.
I know, huh? You just keep your options open, your opportunities, and you act on them, because Starbucks,
Absolutely.
small
Never
little
know,
thing
man.
right there. You never know. Just
Never know. Like, I was a super introverted, all the time, but now I've been learning to become extroverted, because you never know what relationships you'll make, dude.
and it's an impact.
I don't think had we ever said hi to each other, I wouldn't be here today, right?
Yeah, and the way we met was, it's quick, but at an investor meetup out in downtown LA. I seen him, and then I kept seeing him a couple more times and said, "What's up?" And now we're here talking about how we got here today. And to me, it is inspiring, because you're 24 years old, man. You know, like in my 20s, I did other cool shit. It wasn't like. Well, you guys are on like the right path is what what I'm trying to say. I wasn't on the right path. I was just doing cool shit, and that was it. But I like where Josiah's 19, Avi, you're 24, where you guys are, because that means where you get to my age and you stick to the right path, bro, you're just going to, and it's the consequence of growth and all that. It's
absolutely
money, family, the things you get to do, more root beer, all you can drink, and not have to worry about stuff or backpacks. That's the cool part. So fast forward today, you are still doing real estate. You're still, you're at your 10 closings already. So for the next few months, they always do this.
Oh, yeah?
It's
Yeah,
CPR.
it's a CPR. They always think it's
a push.
do I have it locked?
No, she pulled.
No, I have it locked. Yeah. Yeah, they always.
She definitely pulled.
One time we were just watching, the person was
People
just,
think it's a CPR office?
so it used to be.
Yeah.
I guess back right before we got it, but they show me the website, and then it shows a different address. So wherever they're looking, they're not actually looking
at the
at.
proper thing. Yeah.
Maybe it's still like their Instagram or something, because it's every single.
I know. I'm just like, dude,
Oh,
like,
really?
what's going on, man? And we're gonna put a sign that says, "Hey, the CPR is somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's on the west side, guys. Sorry for coming to the east side." So sorry, jumping on back on topic. So going forward, the next few months, what is your plan to reach your goal? What is Avi going to do?
Yeah, right now, I think I just really need to focus on working with buyers, because right now the market, although it was super hot these last 2 years, and it went up exponentially. Right now, the market that we're in, it's slowed down a little bit. Houses are staying on the market a little bit longer. Sellers are more motivated to do price reductions and actually offer credit to either buy down a buyer's rate or give them closing cost credit.
Okay.
So right now I think I'm really trying to work with the people who there's always investors out there trying to find a good deal to hold for long term. So I'm trying to focus on the investment side and really focus on getting my buyers like good deals under market value. So then for them, they'll be positive cash flowing, and then long term, 5-10 years from now. I mean, real estate, in my belief, it's always going to appreciate long term, right?
Yes.
Just like the S&P 500, right? It's just park your money in like it's a physical asset, which is solid, right? So yeah, I'm gonna just focus on that. Eventually, I want to get into me being the investor myself. That's where like the real wealth is, right? Getting investment properties and renting them out, and possibly looking into like getting an Airbnb. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's the future right there. It's coming. It's coming for you, man.
Those guys, Alex, are motivating, man. Alex and Will, and
so shout out to Alex Camacho and Will Four Walls. I just seen them on Instagram. I wrote them. I was like, bro, you have to be so hot because your hair is up. When we know, I had long hair for a long time.
Yeah.
So when your hair is up, it's hot. And then I was like, and he's like, dude, I'm wearing short pants. And he's in Hawaii. So yeah, shout out to them. They're living life.
My hair is this long too, man. Like
we were talking about. Yeah. So under the turban, man, he's talking about long hair.
We'll put a picture if you wanted to. I'll send you a picture to put it right there. But yeah, man, it's to my waist, man. So in my religion, we're not allowed to like cut our hair. Our hair is like our roots, our strengths.
Okay.
And same like with our turban, it's like our symbolic faith, So my religion, it's Sikhism.
Okay.
We're actually the fifth largest religion in the world, but a lot of people don't really know about it. And in our culture, it's all about giving back. If you look at the whole world, and you like look into our stats, I think most temples, most churches, if you go there, if you get a meal, I think you had to pay for the meal, right?
Yeah.
So in our religion, any temple, it's called a Sikh temple. Any temple that you go into the world, there's always going to be a free meal ready for you. I think we feed about 5 million people every day worldwide.
Wow.
In our culture. So it's really all about giving back. And if anyone out there, no matter like what culture, race you are, you're always welcome into a Sikh temple, and they'll always have a meal ready for you for free.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. That's cool. Curious, just how.
Yeah, I'll have to invite you. We have events too where like we have like over like 30 or 40 different stalls of like different like Indian foods and desserts. Wow. People just come out and just try all types of stuff. So I'll invite you guys out to the next
definitely.
one.
It'd be kind of.
You guys like Indian food?
Yeah, my wife loves it. I'm so picky. Like, I legit eat hamburgers plain.
Oh wow.
My pizza with light sauce or no sauce. Like the tomato. I don't know, dude. I'm just saying. Like dry sandwiches, yeah.
Hey.
But I come out and I will try stuff. If it's hot, I like to try it.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely that'd be something I'd be interested in. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Have you tried Indian food?
I have just a little bit. Not much. I can't even remember what I tried, but I do remember I liked it.
I just got him into some Mexican burritos, bro. Like he's loving it, dude. That's man.
He bought me a burrito from Mi Ranchito one time, and ever since then, like twice a week, I'm having burritos.
Dude, he's having wet burritos, man. So little by little, we're bringing on the
yeah.
little culture here and there and stuff like that.
You're 100% Hispanic, right?
Yeah. So I guess it gets lost, to be honest, dude. Like my parents don't really know. So my mom says that my grandparents are from on the Spaniard side. My dad's like, we're full blown Mexican on this side, but we are fourth generation American, I guess, out here. So like I don't know anybody in like any other countries or any cousins. Everybody I do know is like minimum. They're already out here. My grandparents were already out here. So yeah, I don't know Spanish. My mom does speak Spanish because my mom's side, they're full on. They all speak Spanish. My dad, no. Yeah, I'm just like, that's why I kind of grew up. I really grew up eating pizza pockets, frozen food. My dad was a truck driver. He'd be gone for 2-3 months, come back with like rubber band guns and stuff. And we just like BB guns. We just boom, boom, boom. He'd take off. My mom would complain about us, come back, whoop her ass, shave our heads on purpose. Yeah, dude, that's the way that's why I'm like, dang, strength, man. My dad took away our hair because we cared about, or we thought because we valued the hair and the way we looked. So it was more like a consequence.
Like a punishment kind of?
Yeah, you do bad, you're doing this. Bzzz. Man, that's messing up. Now I'm just like, that was cold, bro. Like, cause it never worked. Like, I was just getting buzzed and I had to lie about stuff from, I got caught smoking cigarettes, or I got caught doing this. And it'd be like, I got bad grades in my dad shaved my head. That sounds stupid. Like, dude, your dad's a dick.
That's crazy.
Dude, yeah. So definitely grew up a little bit
Everybody has
different.
their story, man. That's amazing, though.
And then we're all kind of here. Yeah. And I think that's the cool part is we're able to still lead to, I guess, we're always going after something, and that's what led us here. So ultimately, what do you want out of life? Like out of this current part in your life right now, what do you want? What does Avi want?
Yeah, I think, I mean, me growing up now, I'm obviously seeing my parents getting older around me too. So what I really want from life is to kind of give back to my family, go on, like really enjoy like family time, go on vacations with them and just kind of give back to them. Cause there's never been a time in my life where, I'm so blessed because my family, like anytime I wanted something, they gave me something, they were always there for me. Even though when my dad came from India, he was struggling, he didn't even have a job and he was trying to get some like money from his siblings, I think. And, but obviously, he built his business from the ground up. When he came here, he didn't have anything. So just like seeing all that struggle that my parents and my family have been through, what I want from life is to kind of just give back to them and, like spend family time. Cause, as we get older, it's harder to, as my parents get older, it's harder to like, travel, harder to do things, of course. So
I know
it's kind of tough to see that,
It kind of sucks. Because that could be us. We're working so hard. And if we don't stop and enjoy certain stuff, we're going to get older and it's going to be harder. I mean, it was to what you were talking about. I don't want to be 60 years old and then enjoy, because it was something like, work. It was Gary V.
We
We're talking about, he's like, man, I don't really like him too much because it's like work, and then enjoy. He's like, but I want to, I'm going to be old, and what if, like, I mean, I guess his mentality is like, no matter what, like, you're going to be there. But I mean, 50 and 60, bro, at least from the people I know, life's a lot harder at that time. Yeah, some of them are good in shape and stuff like that. But I mean, to go out and really enjoy, like, we get tired a lot.
I mean, I see my parents, like, now they're having, like, joint pains and some, like, ailments. And I'm like, like, before anything, like, happens worse, God forbid. But I want them to see the world. I want them to travel. Like, they barely go out, so.
And to know that you were able to learn from what they taught you and what you've seen. And
the values
you build
that they instilled into me is, like, it's really like a huge part of my upbringing, dude. I wouldn't be, the person I am today without them. So
I always say this because my relationship with my father now is good. Okay. Like, we talk, but it's not like a father-son. He's an adult. I'm grown up. So, like, we kind of talk. Yeah. But I'm grateful for that, because when my pops passed, he was the one I had the best relationship. But I am grateful to kind of, since he was gone, since he left, I was able to, now I'm like, okay, I still got one here. Let me see if there's anything I can kind of rekindle, or even if I have to call. I'm okay with that, because that makes me feel better. Got it. It's not like, oh, well, he's not calling. If I stop calling, he might not call. Probably, but I'm okay with calling, just to have that little bit of life in there. Out and because when they're gone, bro, they're gone. That's it. That's life.
Then you're filled with regret.
Yes, and that's something that I think my brothers and them are gonna. They don't think now, but I keep telling them, I was like, bro, if you don't fix, I said, look, we all lived a different life. Like, he's seen whatever the reason why he bounced was because of my mom, and leaving with another person, it did something. I was like, I get it, but if my brothers don't understand that stuff, like, they're gonna have that regret. Yeah, because again, we're all gonna die. We all, that's the one place, like, we're guaranteed. So it's what we do here with the people that we love and that matter the most, is that I think, that's the win.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask both of you, where do you guys see yourself in the next 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know specifically.
Tough question.
It is a tough question, and I've definitely been thinking about the future. I want, like, I was thinking about it. I think might want to have a house, like, bought, not renting, within the next year and a half, by the time I'm 21. And then I'm also debating moving out of state, like, some years down the line, like 3 or 4 years down the line. I've got.
Where would you go?
Probably Tennessee.
Okay,
I got some friends moving out to Tennessee.
Have you ever lived out there before?
I haven't lived out there. I have been there. Not really Tennessee specifically, Georgia specifically. Got it. But just that would be somewhere I think I might want to be, like, then. But for now,
because in a couple of years, man, you're still in the early 20s. So this is where you can do pretty much anything and everything.
This is where you explore, get to figure out yourself out.
This is where you get to eat all the foods, travel, everything, because without kids, you can do all of this stuff.
You can take risks.
Yeah, you can do all this stuff because it's just you at the end of the day. Yeah, you'll meet some people crazy enough to be like you and stuff, which you'll end up having great friends. But ultimately, this is where you do all this stuff and be like, I didn't like that. Yeah. And I didn't like that. I really like that. Cool. And then by your 30s, you have I've done that already. I've tried this. I tried this. Rather my friends. Yeah, almost all my friends had kids. That was weird. Damn us fucking Mexicans, bro. What is wrong with us, bro?
What about yourself, man?
5 years from now, we personally, like my family, we will have bought another house. Nice. Our next house to live in this time. Either Santa Clarita, California area, or going to the west side. Okay. Yeah, going to give up on the east side, man.
Makes
I'm
sense.
Tired over here.
Completely makes sense.
Yeah. Tired of the cops. Tired of the graffiti. I'm just tired of it. Yeah. I don't mind it personally because it's what I know. But my kids are starting to talk about it.
In, like, a better environment.
Dude, they're already talking about, like, hey, Dad, how come that wall, or how come those people? We see prostitutes when we're driving through.
Oh, yeah, Sierra Highways.
Sierra Highway, bro. Yeah,
really?
there's like 8 of them, bro. And I'm like, dude, the cops will pass by. Yeah, it's
If
That's
you
bad.
don't know, so like there's West Side where
I don't know.
Yeah, so we have
like,
West Side.
It goes by like street numbers. So like like 10th, 20th, 30th. That's east, and then when you get like to 10th West, and then like Division Street, and then it goes 10th East. Like it splits that way. So anything west of Division is pretty okay. Like
Yeah, for the most part, you're good. No, you're solid,
pretty
bro.
okay. Anything east of Division, like there's a high chance of like death.
So this is where it's like you got over here. You have more of the shootings. You have the theft. I mean, like on my neighborhood, I always talk about this part because I'm like, damn, the east side, there's so many cars on the street, on the neighborhoods. And it's because and I grew up this way. We got families living with families. These houses are already small and stuff like that. And I'm just like, all right, it's just normal. But I'm just seeing now my kids are talking about it. And at first I'd be like, oh yeah, that's how I grew up. And then I stopped saying that. I started being like, oh, that's just because, that's how now I'm like, damn.
You don't want them to see that?
Yeah, I was like, I want to give them something better, not just because, dad's seen it, it's normal. No, I want them to be like, know that that's there, but know that we're not there anymore. So upgrading our lifestyle, taking the East Hood to the West Side. They're gonna be like, bro, get out of here. And then personally, I want to develop a better relationship with my son. Go out to Phoenix now and visit him. He opened up recently about how he feels with certain stuff. So now I'm like, okay, cool. Okay. He has Asperger's, autism, so life has been a lot harder, especially with, he goes back and forth to Arizona and he thinks it's because of finances, and it's just what he was taught on the mom's side.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we got to leave California because it's cheaper out in Arizona, back and forth like 4 times. Yeah. So that's really what he knows. So creating that better relationship with him, I think it's harder. It's just harder right now. Yeah. Like that's just tough, dude. Because
it's tough, dude.
The things that I like, he's he's like his mom, like legit. And the stuff that he likes, I'm not fully interested in, and it's hard to make that. I sound selfish, but I'm just being like straight up.
Yeah.
That's the line. That's the hard part of it. Yeah. It's like, okay, he's more into video games and stuff, and it's like I have to step into a room that I'm not comfortable with at all, that I don't understand.
Trying to be a good role model for him, I think that's what's important, and teaching him valuable lessons as he's growing up. That's what's important.
So I'm going to take that. I appreciate that. So yeah, building that relationship so that we have this, so being able to travel back and forth, getting him out here. We talk every day, every other day, shoot texts and stuff like that. Quick 5 seconds. I always give him a call. Hey, how was your day? Okay, cool. But it's after having the conversation, going beyond the, hey, what are you doing real quick? Yeah. Because then I'm like, all right, checked in, I'm done.
Yeah.
So I want to do more than just check in and stuff like that. So have that. And then from there, I would say as far as like business wise, just growing, dude, like continue what we're doing here. Just again, making an impact in every industry, using what we're doing, video content. And the reason why I feel like I'm willing to double down on it so much is because I'm here. Literally, I'm here today because of content.
Exactly.
Like I seen my kids on their phones watching YouTube, so I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Why can't we do that too?
Yeah, exactly.
So we started it, ended up here again today. So it's just growing the business and seeing more people inside and out, watching them grow. Sam, Raul, watching everybody kind of grow, going from an editor to full-on shooter to just constantly. Yeah. That's all I want. That's just good, growth, man. And see my family good. And then other than that, either bring my mom with me to live with me. Right now she can't because our house is too small. So taking that and being able to bring her, I think would be if I can't buy the house, at least get a house where she can come and live with me. So that's a start, man. So next 5 years, that's already written down. Those are all the things I'm going after.
I can already see it happening, bro.
Yeah, I'm already going there, man. Already going there. But that is it, you guys. We are all set for today's episode 6 with Avi, all the way down from Chino Hills. Really appreciate it, man, because, again, a 2-hour drive doesn't seem like a lot, but it is when you have, work, you have a life, you have family and stuff like that. So we really appreciate you coming out, telling us your story, sharing your story to others. If you guys are brand new, if you're just tuning in, he pretty much started out a couple years ago from going to school, going into real estate, found someone that helped him out, seeing the opportunity there. And from there kind of slowly developed into where he's at today, trying to get into the luxury market, still hanging out with family. Cause again, that's what motivates him. That's the end goal. So it's cool to see where you're at and like to hear your story and stuff like that. It's very inspiring, man. Because again,
Definitely.
24 years old. So if you're 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, if you're 20 years old, to me, age does not matter as long as you take action.
Yeah.
But it's great to see because he does have great parents that have taught him this stuff. So if you're 40, 50 and you have kids, this is where you take the step and pretty much execute. Go after the things that you really want, because you can't tell someone to chase their dreams if you can't chase your own dreams. That's how I feel, man. Like I can't tell you or tell my kids, go after, you deserve it, if I'm not chasing nothing.
You got to practice what you preach.
Yes, man. So really appreciate you, man. Appreciate this.
You having me on, man. Really
and Josiah for being here in front of the camera. All right, you guys, so that is a wrap. Again, we're going to pop his link right here. Make sure you go ahead and follow him on Instagram, YouTube, and you will see him in the luxury market all the time very soon, you guys. All right, peace.